Hi everyone, welcome to Read Script. So in this video we'll talk about what are the few books that you can read in order to prepare for your cat and for reading purposes in general. We have divided the entire video into two parts. First we'll talk about fiction books that you can read, then we'll talk about non-fiction books that you can read. Fiction books are basically the books where a story or a fictional story or an imaginative story is given to you, whereas non-fictional stories are those that happened in real, or rather happened to real people. So here are some popular fiction books that you can read. We are just giving you a list of 5 books for now so that you can focus on them. The first one is 100 Years of Solitude, which is about a single family. This is written by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, and this book was the reason why Gabriel Garcia Marquez won a Nobel Prize in English Literature back in 90s. Another popular book is Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut Jr., which is a dystopian book, revolves around books in general, a slaughterhouse in general, bit of the entire society, and just talks about our society in general. A Fine Balance is written by an Indian author. This belongs back to the emergency era of India, the 1970s emergency era under Indira Gandhi. This story takes place in an unknown town and just tells a story of a few selected people and how and the problems they had to face during the emergency. This is a really good read if you want to really know about how the emergency impacted people. Another really book by an Indian origin based author is Interpreter of Melodies. It's a collection of short stories, and the short stories are about love and loss and everything in between. They are really well written. This book was the reason why Jhumpa Lahiri won so many accolades and prizes for her book, and this is really an amazing book to read. Another book that you can focus on is All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. Just trust me on this one. This is going to be one of the few amazing books that you will ever read in your life. Moving on to the non-fiction categories, we have just highlighted 6 non-fiction books that you can focus on. So first one is Outliers, then Guns, Germs and Steel, then When Breath Becomes Air, which happens to be an autobiography in nature. Then there is Sapiens, then Fooled by Randomness, and Liar's Poker in general. Out of these 6, Sapiens and Guns, Germs and Steel share the same genre. They are both historical in nature, but they are both written in really different ways. Sapiens tell us how human beings have been able to survive all this time, whereas Guns, Germs and Steel tell us what have been the biggest developments in the past, why we are where we are. At the same time, Outlier is a book which tells you just how hard work really is, what makes real professionals professional. And then we come to books like Fooled by Randomness and Liar's Poker. Liar's Poker is one book that you have to read if you are a finance enthusiast. This tells you about the rise and fall of a lot of investment banks back in 1980s. This also tells you about the mortgage-backed security market that basically led to the entire 2008 crisis, so on and so forth. This is a book that you have to read. Then, of course, there is Fooled by Randomness by Nicholas Nassim Taleb. This is one of the finest books written under the category, also good for finance enthusiasts and probability enthusiasts in general. And just to highlight, there are 4 more fiction books that you can read just in case you have read all the other books that were given in the previous list. There is The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini. There is 1984 by George Orwell, a really popular book. Then there is Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro. Kazuo Ishiguro recently won the Nobel Prize just a couple of years back. And then, of course, there is American Godson by Neil Gaiman. There is also a TV show on the same book on Amazon Prime. So, continuing the same tradition, 4 more non-fiction books. There is another autobiography, Open by Andrea Gassi. Then there is The Story of Philosophy by Will Durant, and Tuesdays with Morrie by Mitch Albom. Tuesdays with Morrie again focuses on the same theme as When Breath Becomes Air. It basically tells you a lot about life and losses in general. And of course, there is another book on behavioral finance called Nudge by Richard Thaler. Richard Thaler recently won the Nobel Prize in Economics just a couple of years back. So also, this is one book that you cannot miss. Let us know if there are any other books that you would want to be on the list. Thank you.